Welcome to today's hearing on the rising cost of food and its impact on the federal nutrition programs. Today we will take a look at soaring food costs and the toll that they're taking on the nation's child nutrition programs. From news headlines to the aisles in the grocery store, it's impossible to ignore the fact that food costs have escalated dramatically over the past year, making it more and more difficult for American families to pay grocery bills and put healthier foods on the table. Given this tough economic climate, our federal child nutrition programs have an increasingly important role to play in providing children with healthy and nutritious foods while at school, child care, and the summer camp programs. Altogether, nearly 50 million children each year are served by the National School Lunch Program, the School Breakfast Program, the Child and Adult Care Food Program, and the Summer Food Service Programs, which provide free meals and snacks to children in low-income communities over the summer vacation. But with food prices continuing to rise drastically and no signs of slowing down anytime soon, it is becoming hard for these programs to continue to providing healthy, low-cost meals that children will want to eat. As demonstrated by the chart on the wall, the prices of many staple foods are on the rise. The U.S. Department of Agriculture reports that the cost of basic essentials like bread, milk, and cheese rose by a staggering 17% in 2007. Yet, during the same period of federal reimbursement rate for child nutrition programs increased by only about 3 to 4%. Other than annual index adjustments, the reimbursement rates for the National School Lunch Program has remained stagnant for more than 2 decades. With the fall fast approaching, these increases are forcing school districts to operate under already tight budgets to make some very tough choices. Many report having to use frozen vegetables instead of fresh vegetables, processed wheat products instead of whole grains, prepackaged foods instead of more nutrition entrees that involve additional preparation costs. In my own district in California, one school nutrition director reported the produce is up nearly 10%, frozen and dry foods are up nearly 20%, and dairy products up more than 20%. Other districts report having to scale back the number of meals they provide, cutting down on staff to reduce labor costs. And many summer food programs currently struggling to meet these higher costs, increased food prices have led to serving fewer children. In the wake of waning federal support, states and school districts are shouldering more of the cost of the school meals. The School Nutrition Association reports that school lunches cost on the average of over $2.90 to prepare. Even with the recent adjustment announced this month, the federal subsidy for free meals will only reimburse schools for $2.57, leaving school districts to cover the difference. Schools have limited options to increase revenues or decrease expenses. Again, as the chart on the wall demonstrates, the recent USDA study showed that full cost of producing school meals exceeds reported cost by an average of 19%. According to SNA's estimates, the U.S. schools will incur a loss of about $5 million to $8 million each school in order to feed 30 million children. Without sufficient federal resources, many states and school districts often have to rely on the sales of popular but less nutritious foods like pizza, French fries, and sodas to help generate the revenues necessary to subsidize healthier meal options. In some cases, food prices are forcing some programs to question whether they can continue participating in the federal nutrition program altogether, meaning that fewer children may have access to healthy meals. Today we will hear from several witnesses who have firsthand knowledge of the impact of rising food costs on their programs and the challenge to providing healthy meals. We will also hear from officials at the U.S. Department of Agriculture responsible for running our federal nutrition programs, and we'll hear from the Grocery Manufacturers Association. I'd like to thank all of you for joining us today and look forward to hearing from your testimony. Providing children with access to healthier, nutritious foods while at child care, school, or summer camps is vital to our efforts to help children learn, succeed, and thrive. And at a time when the U.S. faces staggering rates of childhood obesity, helping young children develop healthy, nutritional eating habits must be the top national priority.